I woke up in a room I had never seen before. My breath came in short gasps, my body tense with an immediate sense of wrongness. The walls stretched too high, vanishing into darkness, their color a dull, lifeless gray. The air was thick, heavy, carrying the weight of silence so deep it felt suffocating. I couldn't hear the hum of the city, the ticking of a clock, or even the sound of my own movements. Just stillness. There were no windows, no visible doors, only a single empty chair placed perfectly in the center of the room. The only source of light was a dim flickering bulb hanging overhead, casting long, distorted shadows along the smooth floor. I didn't remember how I got here. The last thing I could recall was falling asleep in my own bed. My apartment had been warm, safe, familiar. I had set my alarm, closed my eyes, drifted off to sleep. Now, I was somewhere else, somewhere impossible. I pushed myself up slowly, my fingers brushing against the cold floor. It didn't feel like wood or concrete. It was soft, too smooth, almost like fabric stretched too tightly over a surface. It gave slightly under my touch, as if something pulsed beneath it. A shudder ran through me. I stood, my footsteps echoing strangely, as if the room were both too large and too small at the same time. The walls didn't seem right. The ceiling felt impossibly high, yet the space itself was suffocating. The silence pressed down on me, wrapping around my throat like unseen fingers. I turned in slow circles, searching for anything, an exit, a break in the seamless gray expanse. But there was nothing, only that chair. Then I saw it, a door. It wasn't there before. It was smooth, white, featureless. No handle, no keyhole, just a door where a moment ago there had been nothing. A cold dread settled in my stomach. I stared at it, my pulse hammering in my ears. I knew, somehow I knew, that I hadn't imagined it. It had appeared. And then someone knocked. 3 soft, deliberate knocks. A sound that didn't belong here. I took a step back, my breath caught in my throat. The knocks came again, slow, hollow, vibrating through the air like something ancient, something patient. My entire body screamed at me to run, but there was nowhere to go. Then, a voice, "Let me in." It was soft, almost pleading, but there was something wrong about it. It didn't sound quite human. It carried an echo, a distortion, as if it were speaking from behind a veil of something unnatural. My throat went dry. The bulb above flickered. The air grew colder. I could feel something watching me. Then I heard it, not from behind the door, from inside the room. A slow, rhythmic sound, breathing, too close. I turned, my stomach twisting in terror. The chair was no longer empty. Something sat there. It hadn't been there a moment ago. Its posture was rigid, arms resting too perfectly on the armrests. Its face, if I could even call it that, was smooth and featureless. A blank expanse of pale, waxy skin stretched over a vaguely human form. It had no eyes, no mouth, but I knew it was looking at me. I felt it, and that it smiled. There was no mouth, no expression, but I felt it smile. The knocks at the door grew louder, more insistent. The voice came again, whispering, chanting, "Let me in, let me in, let me in." The figure in the chair stood up. The moment it moved, the walls shifted. The floor rippled beneath my feet as if the room itself was alive. The air thickened, the shadows deepening. I stumbled back, heart racing, the cold wrapping around my limbs like something alive. The door was gone. The chair was gone. The light died, and the whispering became screaming. A cacophony of voices, desperate, hungry, layered over one another in a terrible, unnatural chorus. My breath came in sharp gasps as I pressed my hands over my ears, trying to block them out, but they didn't stop. Ugh. A hand touched my shoulder. Cold, wet. I screamed, spinning, stumbling backward. The ground beneath me felt wrong, like flesh and bone instead of wood or stone. My vision swam. The whispers turned to laughter, echoing from all around me. Then, a new door appeared. It was different, red, pulsing, like something alive. The whispers stopped, and then a single voice. "You belong here now." My chest tightened. I reached for the door, desperation winning over fear. The moment my fingers brushed the surface, pain seared through my arm, white hot, like fire beneath my skin. I gasped, jerking back. But the door split apart, revealing something else. A mirror. But the reflection wasn't mine. The thing inside the mirror looked like me, but its eyes were too wide, too dark. Its mouth was stretched into a grin that was too big, too wrong. The teeth were sharp, gleaming, unnatural. Then it moved, not in the reflection. It stepped forward, through the glass, into the room. I turned to run, but the walls melted away, revealing an endless void. I was falling, spinning. The air turned thick, suffocating, pressing into my lungs. My limbs wouldn't move. My body wasn't my own. And just before everything went silent, just before my mind slipped away, I heard my own voice. "Wake up." I gasped, my eyes snapping open. I was in my bed, my apartment. The city sounds drifted in through the window, the hum of the heater, the glow of my bedside lamp. A dream, just a dream. I let out a shaky breath, running a trembling hand over my face. My skin was ice cold. My heart was still racing. I glanced at the clock. 3:12 a.m. Then I saw it. The chair. The same chair from the room, sitting in the corner of my bedroom. And as I stared, unable to breathe, I heard it. The soft, deliberate sound of 3 knocks at my bedroom door, and a whisper, "Let me in."